Alright, welcome back to Dark Souls Castlevania style, and what we're doing here is we're picking up the basement key from a corpse here. And we need the basement key to open up a section that the Capra Demon's in. And just to let you know where it's at, it's right under the bridge there. You gotta go a long way around if the guy closes the door, because if you can, or closes the gate, is if you can get fast enough up the stairs and over and drop down, you can actually get through that before the guy closes that. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is, now that I've got the key, I'm going to head back to the bridge area where our nice little dragon friend is at, and we're going to use that key to open a door that gets us around the side to where the Capra Demon's at. So I'm just going to let you know the Capra Demon fight is a huge pain in the ass, and it's just not fun at all. Even with a shield, it's not really easy, but without a shield, it's a fucking nightmare. Sometimes you can just get lucky, and everything will go according to plan, but most of the time, the fight will be determined in the first 2 to 3 seconds of the fight, because the dogs really determine everything. The dogs will attack you as soon as you come through the gate, but the problem is the dogs are going to attack you at the same time the Capra Demon is. And the Capra Demon's attack, a lot of times, even if you are good at rolling, you'll roll at the time where the Capra Demon's attack would not hurt you, because you know your invincibility frames would be kicked in. But the problem is the dog will. So the dog will hit you right before his attack does, and so you're stunned, and then he's just fucking you up. And another thing that's a nightmare on this run is fighting enemies like this that have quicker attacks than you, and you have like such a long wind up with the whip, and it's just, it's fucking bullshit. So at this point, I'd gotten a little lazy on what was going on. Like, as far as it was just a pain in the ass. You know, trying to keep up your defenses and everything, and this game kind of wears you down a little bit if you're not getting to use a shield, or you know, you're having to use a weapon that's so slow. Because I mean, granted, I was using for my New Game Plus Plus character, I was using a character with a scythe. They're using the Great Scythe, and you know, it's a halberd, so it has sort of a wind up, but the thing does so much damage, and I have a shield, that it really didn't bother me all that much. But this is just a pain in the ass. But I'm getting through it okay, I guess, but it's not really a fun way to play the game. Makes a good challenge. You feel really accomplished when you finish it, but at the same time, you're just kind of like, what the fuck am I doing? Especially with this Capra Demon fight, I was very, very pissed. Because I died quite a few times, and yeah, I wasn't too happy with this fight. And the next fight is going to be another endurance test. Hopefully it won't be as bad, because I usually do pretty good on her, but it's Queen Quaylag. Although I'm not really looking forward to the fight, because it's a real endurance test, and you know, your character with a whip doesn't really do a lot of damage. Like I said, everybody else that I saw online that was, you know, even referring to the wiki as what they were going by as far as guidelines, I guess they missed the big one about no shields, because they're just all using shields. And then the people that weren't using shields were using really awesome armor sets that weren't listed as being able to use. They had their armor sets leveled all the way up. Their whips were leveled all the way up, and their vitality was through the roof. And you know, I was just thinking, well, of course your run's not really going to be that hard, because you've just eliminated all the challenge that the stat limiting had caused, you know. Because a lot of this wouldn't really be as bad. Hell, it really wouldn't be that bad at all if you got to use a shield. Because when you use a shield and an enemy hits it, it stuns the enemy for a second most of the time. If they're like low on poise and everything. But a lot of times, you know, the enemy will recoil back from hitting your shield. And that creates a little bit of time for you to have a counterattack. And so even using the whip, where it has a wind up, if you're using shield, it's going to make it pretty easy to do. And so it eliminates a lot of that challenge, because, you know, if people are just attacking you, and you're not using a whip, I mean, you're not using a shield, then it's not having like that recoil and everything. It makes a huge difference. But I don't know. I just I can understand why they're using the shield, for the sheer fact of, after fighting some of these bosses, how painful it's been to get through this. It's about like playing the game for the first time. Like, I mean, I'm making it through, and it's not taking me any longer than maybe an hour per each of the bosses, and I'm just kind of cutting the time down a little bit for you guys, so you're not having to like sit and watch me cuss and, you know, play through against these bosses like over and over and over. Also, don't make the mistake that I made here and go down the stairs without checking completely to see if somebody's following you, because I just get completely gangbanged here. It's just, oh, that is terrible. So don't do that. And if I'd cut out my run, you know, going back again, like, it really would have made it even shorter, but the video's only about 20 minutes, so it's around my normal time, so no worries. But if I'd had more deaths than that, and the Capra Demon, like, because the Capra Demon does kill me, but I don't keep the deaths in. The only death thing that I kept in was the Taurus Demon, and that one I really shouldn't have kept all those deaths in, but it really, you know, it only added like 14 minutes, and I mean, even though that one got the least amount of like people actually watching it, I think because of the length, because some of these videos I have are just a little too long, but these I'm trying to keep them around 20-25 minutes most of the time, just to keep you guys entertained, but at the same time, like, you know, that there's things going on, it's not just the same shit. But I'd also had an idea of trying to do, also to, you know, to keep my sanity on these runs, because it's a challenge thing, and I think that I might do actually better with the normal game, and I miss playing the normal game. I thought about doing with a friend of mine, like the Dancing Fetus I actually do a podcast thing with. Thought about trying to do a Drunk Souls run, where, I mean, we might not do like the whole game in one sitting or anything, but maybe do some episodes of that where we just kind of sit down and we play, we just kind of pass the controller after we die. And so you get it to where, like, you're not going to do any kind of crazy shit to where it has to be really unfun. We want to have a good time with it, and so I'd like to do it to where, you know, we have it to, like, if the other person beats a boss, you know, you got to take a drink. If you die, you got to take a drink and pass the controller. If you die by falling off, you know, like a cliff, then that's 2 drinks. And then, like, I was trying to remember, there's a couple other rules and everything. And I was just going to look it up and we'd lay it out. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. And we're kind of funny people when we're drunk anyway. And I think Dark Souls will be a really good game to do that with. I know that a lot of people do Dark Souls drinking games, and I'd always wanted to. I just never got the chance to sit down and do it. So I think that'd be a fun activity, and give you guys something entertaining to watch, because we let loose pretty good. But the thing that's annoying me the most about this run has to be the enemies that attack much quicker than you do. And primarily dogs, because dogs just attack at an unfair rate. You have to be attacking with the whip way before they even get to you if you want to hit them without them hitting you. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's almost like you just have to telegraph exactly when they're going to come towards you. And it just seems a bit unfair to me. But in here, this other building, I'm going to get the black leather armor, which sadly doesn't protect as well as the armor I have on right now. Which I wish it did, because the black leather armor is pretty badass. Now it may, when upgraded, it may upgrade better than the Wanderer stuff. Because the Wanderer stuff, I mean, it's just fabric, like cloth. So I didn't really think it would protect all that good. But apparently, right off the bat, it does better than the black leather armor. But part of the rules was I couldn't upgrade any of my armor until I beat the Iron Golem. Which, goddamn, some of the stipulations for this challenge are just really shit. Because I know he's trying to maintain a certain, level of challenge, but goddamn, some of it just makes you want to fucking rage hard. But I watch a lot of these other people that do challenge runs, like Lobos Jr., which is probably my favorite one to watch. He's pretty hilarious, and he's just really good at the game. I love watching him play. But usually when I watch his stuff, he doesn't, even when he's doing challenge runs, he doesn't seem to limit himself too much on, like, leveling up, things like that. But he's normally so good at it that it doesn't matter. He'll beat a boss and then use the souls to, level himself up and things like that. But, even his whip-only run, which was incredible, like, he did amazing at it. And, he didn't use a shield or anything like that. But at the same time, he didn't limit himself on his leveling up and things like that. And it really does make a difference. And, he didn't limit, like, what armor to use and things like that. Or, if to use it two-handed or one-handed. And so, it sucks because I'll watch runs like that and I'm like, that's a challenge run and it's really difficult. And he did an incredible job on it. But, like, I'm handicapped even more than that. And his run was already difficult enough. And mine's, like, way beyond that. And it sucks. Because some of those little handicaps I don't enjoy too much. Because it takes out a lot of the elements of the game, actually. Backstabbing, riposting, and all those things like that are gone, and it's really hard to get used to. So I'm trying my best on this run, but it's proving to be quite taxing. And what I bought from the old woman there was charcoal pine resin. It actually applies fire to your whip, or whatever weapon you're using in your right hand. The problem is I get to use it once and then it's done. Like, I had 3, but most of the time, every time I would apply it, I would leave the building, or leave into the fog gate and get destroyed within like 2 seconds. So that didn't work out. But so the charcoal pine resin is an excellent idea because the fire does a lot of added damage to the dogs and to the Capra Demon, but it just doesn't, doesn't work too well if you're just getting your ass handed to you. So here's where I think I try to just kind of take the dogs on their own turf and they get spanked a little bit. But see, it kills the dogs in 1 hit, which is great. But as you can see, that's what it does. The dog stuns you, you can't roll. Capra Demon just destroys you. And here's another try. And it really sucked because I did an hour almost worth of attempts and failed hard. And then I stopped the recording, so it wouldn't go over too long, and checked my audio, which I'm glad that I checked my audio because it was bad. And so then I come back, first try, I beat the Taurus Demon. And even this victory I'm not happy with at all because he's attacking me through the stairs. The whip just will not hit him in the face from the stairs, but he can hit me through the stairs. I just, like I said, really was annoyed by the fight. Trying to find a good vantage point to throw, throw fire bombs at him. That wasn't working out. Most of those weren't even hitting him. Even though he's directly below me, I'm locked onto him. And I hit him with 1, and that's it. So I tried everything to try to hit him, and he still keeps hitting me through the stairs. But what's crazy about that is if you have a big weapon and you swing it against a wall, you'll bounce off the wall. But the bosses don't have that problem. They just swing through. And I don't really see that as being fair. Because then it causes a lot of problems like, what I was talking about with the stairs. But, look at that damage. I was doing 65 damage to him. And that's pathetic. So I don't know. This run, I'll keep going with it. But, unless my damage output gets better, this is going to be a pretty big pain in the ass. But as my friends say, I guess it's making me a better player at the game. Because I'm having to overcome some pretty heavy odds. And it's also helping me learn how to play, my rolls and everything, get the invincibility frames right. But anyway, that about does it for this, and appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.